Hey, welcome to Sports Unfolded NBA offseason report. My big dog in the house, Kenny. How are you?
I'm doing great, doing great.
Awesome. I am your host, Eric. We are going to just talk about some NBA moves, some things that have happened. A lot changing in the NBA world as we speak. It continues to change daily, and we're just going to discuss some things and have some fun and see what else comes up. My friend, see what else comes up. The big news, though, before we even start, Kenny, I don't know if you heard, Tony Allen is signed. Remember Tony Allen, former Celtic, former Memphis Grizzly, signed with the Big Three, my friend. Big Three. He is it.
Oh,
Tony
you
Allen, one of the best defensive players of.
you mean the LeBron stopper? Yeah,
There
yeah.
it is, baby. See, I knew you knew it. I knew you knew who it was. The Allen back in basketball. We'll have to see if we get an interview with him someday. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool.
So let's talk some NBA moves. Let's start off with our own Boston Celtics. Big trade here. Grant Williams to the Mavericks. Your thoughts, what you feel the Celtics should have done in this move, or if they got it right.
They didn't get it right. Body for body. We're just gonna collect picks. Is that what we're gonna do? We're just gonna do the Danny Ainge and just collect picks and collect picks and collect picks.
2 second-round picks, too. It's not even like you got some legitimate pick that's going to make a difference. I mean, how many second-round picks do we know? I know about Jokic. He made it. That's
Yep.
about it. You don't hear too much out of a second-round pick.
Yeah. None whatsoever. We knew it was coming. We knew it was coming because we got Jordan Walsh. But again, second round picks, I think he was a little bit better than that.
Yeah, look, I was a little upset about this move for one reason. And the one reason is we've questioned the Celtics and their toughness. We've questioned the heart and character of this team sometimes when push comes to shove.
Yeah.
You recently got rid of Marcus Smart. We all can agree was probably the heart and soul when it came to that dog mentality, that guy that was just going to not take anything from anybody. Grant Williams was similar in that aspect. Like even in the playoff series, he's the only one that got in Jimmy Butler's face. The only one who was challenging Jimmy Butler. And now you lost another piece. How does this team rebound and get that toughness, Kenny, when they get rid of the two guys that honestly were the foundation of that?
I have really no idea. They got to think of something. They really do have to think of something. Now, who's going to be their defensive stopper? Marcus is out. I, they need to find something.
I mean, it seems like they're swaying more towards an offensive-minded team. But realistically, the year they got to the finals, it was because they were the top defensive team.
Yes.
So I don't know exactly where they're headed or what the direction of the organization is. I'm curious to see, to your point, who's going to be the guy now? Who steps up and becomes that alpha? Is it Tatum? Is it Brown? Is it a combination of both? Can you survive with the two of them if they're not the I guess the tough guy was what we'll call him, that agitator?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
What about Jordan Walsh? So Jordan Walsh made his debut, led the team in points in his summer league debut, 18 points. Your thoughts on him? I know you were pretty high on him. Talk me through it, Kenny. What am I missing with this kid?
He's so athletic. He is so athletic. He can get to the rim. He can shoot the three. He's very, very long. I just hope that they give this man some playing time because he can be real good for us.
And that to me is the question. Like sometimes Missoula in his benching situations and how he used his bench, you may question that. And again, young kid, he's got to play. He's not going to develop if he's not playing. I think you get to a point where you have to take some chances. You have to take some chances. Big debut last night. Victor Wembanyama made his NBA debut. Your thoughts on his performance? What you saw? from his first NBA action?
He did a pretty good job. He did a pretty good job. I think he just has to mature. He has to get stronger. He's a twig, so he has to get in the weight room and just ask Tim Duncan to mentor him because it greatest power forward of all time.
I, I was questioning if he's going to be able to survive in the NBA.
Mm.
He is small, and he seems slower than I would have thought. I don't know if it's his length and it doesn't look like he's moving as fast, but I'm a little concerned, Kenny. I'm a little concerned that the NBA may be too physical for him. It's a bunch of guys, even a 6'7" guy with some size. We know their muscle. They can pretty much keep him out of the paint.
Yeah. He has to put on some. He has to eat a lot of them breakfast tacos he loves so much, and he got to get in the weight room.
What about 2 for 3 shooting in the game? 1 for 6 on threes, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 blocks. Do the Spurs try to utilize him more defensively at the beginning to get him more familiar and comfortable with the NBA? Or do you think you need to see more offensive, skills from him for them to be successful?
Yeah, he needs more skills. Get in the weight room, let him work out with somebody because the NBA games are much quicker than the summer league and much longer.
Yeah, for 27 minutes he played.
Think of the matchups he has to go against. He has to go against Embiid. Embiid will eat this kid for dinner. I'll tell you right now.
I'm concerned.
Yeah,
I am a little concerned. Jokic, Embiid. You're talking some big men that have some skill. Anthony Davis is. Listen, we make fun of Anthony Davis, and at least he's got some size. He's this. He to your point. I was surprised at how small he looked.
Yeah.
And I mean, for all the hype, and I think sometimes that's the worst part of it. You get such build up. It's like watching a movie. Somebody, one of your friends watches a movie and they're like, "This is the greatest comedy ever," or the greatest action movie ever, right? And you go into the theater and you're like, "This is going to be amazing," and you're watching it and you go, it was okay. It wasn't, and that's what I saw. I saw a kid that's okay. I didn't see anything that he stood out in any way, shape, or form. I didn't see a dominant performance. And I thought about this driving to work today, Kenny, and my mind's always thinking sports some way, somehow. Let's look at, I'm going to blow your mind with this one, Kenny. I hope you're ready for this. You sitting down? Yes, you are.
I'm ready.
How the game changed over the years. In the 80s, it wasn't about the big man anymore. We talked about point guards with Magic and small forwards with Bird. And then the game shifted again in the 90s to the guards, right? Michael and what he was able to do. And now if you look at it, we're back in that shooting, the small, the point guard, small, right? Steph Curry and the shooting and LeBron at small forward, right? I don't know if the NBA needs big men anymore. I don't know if they have the same impact. It's not like the Robinson and Duncans and those guys, because the game was a little bit different. The game is even different, so much different now.
Yeah, it's much quicker. It's much quicker. Now you got big guys shooting threes and B shooting threes and Joker shooting threes and Davis shooting threes. And I got the big man that stretches the floor, and it's much quicker, much quicker. It used to be slow to pace, jump shot, 20-footer, 30-footer, jump shot, layup, dunk. Now it's the three fast.
So does he fit in this NBA, today's NBA? Could that be the problem?
That could be, that could be the problem. That could be the problem, but he just got to put on weight. And like I said, somebody has to work out with him. He should have did it this summer. He should have got in the gym with Tim Duncan or whoever and just put on weight. And
because Chet Holmgren last season, with second pick overall, again, you see the same things. Can they survive the NBA? I mean, he went out, before the season even started. And I'm
Yep.
not saying that'll be the same result, but I think sometimes these bigger players don't have the impact like we want. I think in today's NBA, that flash. It's either
Mhm.
you can shoot the three at any range possible. Look, Dame Lillard,
Yep.
Steph Curry, these guys that are shooting half court. You know what I mean? Like that's what they do.
Yep.
Or you want a guy that can just sky, jam, the action part of it. And I don't know if this kid fits any one of those. I don't know. And I'm not, listen, game one, preseason, summer league. Like, I'm not saying the kid's not going to be good. I don't know if he's going to ever live up to the hype because of what he is. He's not LeBron James. LeBron James, when LeBron James came into the NBA, crowned himself
Mm.
the king.
Mhm.
We watched a high flying, high energy kid
Yep.
could just do just about anything. And that to me was what created that buzz and excitement. If we're going to
Yeah.
see a guy that's 7'3", 4, 5, 6, whatever he is, there's so many different, but he's a little slower. He doesn't have the size. He doesn't have the hops. He can't shoot the three extremely well. Now, all of a sudden, are we as excited? Will he draw that excitement that LeBron did when he came in and the king, but he lived up to that right from day one. Like we watched LeBron and we're like, this kid can fly.
Yep.
This kid can move. He can run faster than anybody on the court.
Ooh.
He
He was
right.
quick. He was quick.
And I watched yesterday and I'm like, I'm waiting for some hype play. And he tried to make a move on the baseline, Wembanyama, and he ended up not
Yeah.
even making the dunk. And I'm like, you don't even have to
Yeah.
jump. And he couldn't,
You're right.
right? Like it's not even a flashy play. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it, but I just think about the shift in the game and what we look for. If he's a small forward, if he's a shooting guard, if he's a point guard that can shoot, 75-foot jump shots, like that's what the league is today.
Yeah.
It's not about big men. And I wonder if the Spurs made a mistake thinking that this is going to change their franchise. And he may not, he may be an average player.
Well, I tell you right now, Pop's thing is foreign players. That's his thing. He can get foreign players and they become great. Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, Ginobili. Shall I go on?
Yeah.
Patty Mills.
Yeah. So
And Pop just got $80 million for 5 years, so he ain't going nowhere, I guess. He ain't retiring no time soon. 5 years, $80 million.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Pop.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. What about some of the other rookies that so far? Brandon Miller, Scoot Henderson, they both looked okay. They looked good. A couple of injuries there, though, might be concerning. But did you like what you saw out of those rookies?
Yeah, I liked what I seen. I like what I seen. I think the NBA is in good hands this year. We will see. We shall see.
Well, another big signing. Houston, the Rockets, they seem to be all in. They're making some moves here. Fred VanVleet, very big signing. And then they top it off with Dylan Brooks. Mm-hmm. Interesting player, right, Kenny? Like when you look at Dylan Brooks and what he brings, there's a little edge there. There's a little Dennis Rodman. There's a little, right? Some of those type of guys. I would say right now, Draymond Green, like that type of mentality. And can this work? A young team now, he gets them a little fired up, right? Maybe some, we'll say not so clean plays here or there, but it gives them an identity.
Yeah, it gives them identity. Uka's a great coach. He likes to work with young kids, the youth. So it's going to be a great team. They're going to make the playoffs.
Which is crazy to think about, right? Ime Udoka, now the head coach. They get some talent right off the bat. VanVleet is a true point guard. He can score. He can assist. I like the moves they've made. They're young, to your point, where they've kind of built this up and they didn't lose anybody. They didn't get rid of any of these young kids and try to revamp the whole thing. It's like, let's add some veterans to these kids. Let's get a head coach that knows how to coach. So I can see, to your point, Houston making the playoffs. I could see it. And it's kind of crazy to think about that, maybe the play-in game. I'm not saying they're a top 4 seed. But if you can get into the top 10,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where you start to get some of these kids some experience, and that's what makes them better in the future.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see that. But Kenny, I need to know your thoughts on Dame Lillard and the possibility of going to Miami.
I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. You know what? I do and then I don't. I'm thinking it's the wrong system for him, but it, is it wrong for me to say he's like a Dwayne Wade, but he's not?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
maybe a little
and
bit.
Coach Spo had Dwayne Wade, and when that happened, they won a championship. So I mean, like he's not like a Dwayne Wade, but he's like similar quality, similar type of the
Characteristic,
bill,
yeah, yeah.
characteristic scoring, defense. You know,
I guess I could see that. I would say this though: what are you giving up in Miami that makes you better with Dame Lillard if you're giving up a
yeah,
Bam Adebayo, let's just say, because Portland's going to
yeah,
want somebody big. Tyler Hero, I don't think's enough. That's not an
no,
even trade. Tyler Hero for Dame Lillard, I don't think
no,
there's a single person in this world that would think that's a fair deal.
no, it's
A
not.
couple of draft picks. So now let's just say it's Bam and a couple draft picks. Now you got Jimmy Butler, you've got Damian Lillard. I don't know if they're a better team than they were last season that got to the finals.
Pat Riley is not having none of that. He's not going to give up Bam. He's not going to give up anybody. He's going to, yeah, hey, I'll give you some draft picks. And that's going to not work for Oregon. That's not going to work for Portland. That's not going to work for Portland Trailblazers. No. They want bodies, and they need bodies. They need bodies. They don't need draft picks. They need
Yeah.
bodies for now.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if this is a great move. And then
No.
I don't know if you tuned in yesterday. I know you were on the show for a little bit. If you were there during when we talked about Dame Lillard a little bit on Sports Unfolded, that airs every Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Rhode Island Broadcasting.
Yes, yes.
But I was a little disappointed in the fact that Dame Lillard basically said, "Look, you try to send me anywhere else, and I'm holding out, or I'm not showing up, or I'm not. The only team I'm going to is Miami." And I always thought of Dame Lillard as a team first guy. Portland never really built a solid team around him. But yet he was always the guy that said, I'm staying in Portland. This is my home. This is where I belong. This is what I am. I'm Portland. I'm a Blazer. And now to do this to a team where basically you handcuff them and saying that there's no other. If Boston, the Celtics were interested, I am not calling them up. If I'm saying, look, he's not going to come show up for me, why waste my time? I'm not giving you a Jaylen Brown. Let's just say that was the deal.
Mm-hmm.
For Dame Lillard, who basically said he doesn't want to come to me. So what he did to Portland here is kind of the complete opposite of the person I thought he was.
You know, Portland had enough time to give that man some help. They had plenty of years to say, hey, okay, you know what? We're going to give you some help. We're going to try to make the playoffs. They had plenty of years. You know what? And I don't blame them. I can't blame them. I can't blame them. I want to go here so I can win. I want to go here so I can win. Remember when Kobe was angry at the Lakers?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he said, oh, they didn't do the correct things. I want to go to the Clippers. I want to go to the Clippers. They didn't do the correct things. They didn't do this and they didn't do that. And who they get? They went to get Paul Gasol. I'm sorry, Pau Gasol.
Yes.
It's not Paul, it's Pau Gasol. So he's doing the same thing.
Yeah, but you're talking Lakers Clippers, like automatically. He played that exactly the way he knew what to do.
Exactly. They was like, what? You going where? Clippers? Oh,
Dame says to me, if I'm Dame, I'm like Boston, Denver, Philadelphia, Miami. Do you honestly believe Miami's the best team in the East?
No.
Even though they got to the finals.
No.
Milwaukee, I want to go play with Giannis. I want to go play with Chris Middleton and Giannis and the three of us together. Now that's a team that's going to be very hard to beat. Miami?
Mm.
Like,
He wants that weather.
yeah, right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, this is a selfish. If he said, I want to go to a contender that could win it next season, I would have been okay with that. Like, don't send me to Orlando. Don't send me, you know what I mean, to Houston, one of those teams that we know right now, Detroit, that isn't ready to win. But if you want Portland, send me to Milwaukee, Golden State. I don't care. Whatever it was that, at least I say, I am a legitimate contender to make it to the finals. Miami. And you're handcuffing the team by saying, I won't go anywhere else. Like, you're taking all the options off the table for Portland to say, oh, I could get XYZ player. You go to a contender that probably gets you to the finals next year. It's a win-win.
That's where a third team comes in. Let's go, Celtics. Come on, let's go. Where a third team comes in.
Would you trade Jaylen Brown? Would you make a deal like that?
That's what the holdup is. I'll tell you right now, Rick. That's what the holdup is. They should have signed Jaylen Brown a long time ago, and that's what the holdup is.
So you think it's a Jaylen Brown type deal, gets the Dame Lillard thing done? Where's Jaylen go? Does he go to Portland? Miami gives us who? Who do we get?
Hawks. The Hawks?
Hawks?
We get Lillard.
You get Lillard?
Jaylen goes to the Hawks. Because I tell you right now, over 7 years, the Hawks got 35 picks.
Oof.
And 15 of them are first rounders.
Okay. Interesting. Maybe you're right. Atlanta, good segue, because I was going to talk about DeJounte Murray. 4 years, $120 million deal. When they made this trade with the Spurs, you kind of sit back and you're like, all right, not right.
Yeah.
How do they build around this though? They get rid of Collins, right? He goes to Utah. Was it Utah? That's they traded him to.
Yep. Yeah,
so
Utah,
you're looking at Trae Young, DeJounte Murray. They need a third piece, right? They need something else.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But this is a nice combination, the two of them. I think they're both, hybrid kind of players. They can do a little bit of everything. We know what Trae's young talents are. We know what Murray's talents are.
Ooh. Ice Trae.
Yeah, right. So do a little bit of the shiver. I like it. I thought that was a pretty good move for them to secure him. They locked him up after making the trade. Are they still? You think they're a piece away? Do we agree with that?
The Hawks. Yeah.
What's that piece, Kenny?
They need a center. They need a good center. That's what they need. They need a good center. They should have got Bobo. They should have got he's quality. I mean, he's not great, but he's big.
I saw he's back in the league.
Who?
Taco.
Yeah,
Taco Falls back with the Celtics.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Grace.
We got some bodies now, baby. We got some big men. Porzingis.
They never played him. Never played the boy. It's like, he's 7'6", and you don't play him. What?
But again, here's that fact that, and he's got some size, but he's slow. Today's NBA,
slow.
Victor,
Very slow.
Wembanyama, same thing, slow.
Hurry up!
Right?
Come on,
slow, bro.
Hurry up!
I'm telling you.
It's like Kevin McHale when he used to walk up the floor.
The Chief, yes.
them high knees.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is going on here?
Very interesting. One more big move. Well, I wouldn't say a big move, but you thought it was pretty relevant. Mo Bamba to the Sixers.
Yeah.
Like that move?
That's a huge pickup. That gives Embiid some time to rest. He can stay on the bench. And Mo Bamba, he got great footwork. He can score. He can rebound, and he can score in the paint. So that's a real good pickup for them. Now, what do they do with James Harden?
Yeah, that's a big key.
I tell you right now, he's going to the Clippers.
Okay, and I've heard, but you think he wants to go back with Russell Westbrook? Like, you think that it didn't work when they tried it again?
Them three were great, and I don't know why they broke up the team in Oklahoma.
Think about if they had all stayed together.
Right? Them kids were great.
What about Westbrook signing a 2-year, $8 million deal? Did you think his stock dropped pretty quick?
Yeah.
right? Like that change. I saw the deal and I'm going 2 years, 7.8 million. This
Yeah.
is Russell Westbrook, right? Like he was a triple double every night type of guy, and
Yeah.
he's fallen big time. The Lakers made some moves, kind of Austin Reeves brought him back, Russell back.
Yeah.
So they're kind of running it back with the same team as well.
Hmm.
To me, the West is a mess right now. Chris
Yeah.
Paul on the Warriors, I don't like it. I think that's a bad move.
Yeah.
I think
Me too. Me too.
Phoenix, not enough basketballs to go around for those three guys, and they're trying to acquire all these draft picks because they're going to need to pick up some bench players and do some
Yeah.
things because they don't have a bench.
Nope.
So I don't know, Kenny. I don't know what some of these teams did. I agree with you. I think the Mo Bamba move's a good move to maybe give Embiid some rest and kind of, we know he gets those injury prone. Look, he was hurt in the playoffs.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that the Celtics wouldn't have beaten Philadelphia, but I think it would have been a much different series if Embiid was fully healthy.
Yeah.
So Boston got lucky there because I don't think Boston gets out of that round.
No, we got real lucky. Real lucky.
So it's going to be interesting to see, what happens. Is there anything else you got on your docket that maybe you wanted to discuss, Kenny?
No.
I think we did pretty good. We covered a lot of the big stories.
I think we did.
Good.
Paul Reed went to the 76ers. That's a pretty good pickup too. Who else? There was one more. I seen that went. There's a trade, and I'm like, that's a good pickup. I can't think off my head.
What's the next big move? What's left? The Harden? You think that's the biggest move to still come down the line? Yeah. We probably won't see anything from Dame until a couple months now, later. right before maybe.
Yeah, Paul George was supposed to go to the Knicks, but they chopped that off. They cut that.
And I'm kind of glad they did. Listen, I am not obviously I'm not a Knicks fan. As Celtics fans, it's very hard. Mm-hmm. But I like RJ Barrett. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's great by no stretch, but to get rid of a kid so quickly when he seems like he's a good, solid player, and he kind of fits New York style.
Yes.
Where I didn't think Paul George was. And Paul George, look, he wanted that trade bad because it was going to be an extension involved, and New York was like, we ain't doing it. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. From a business standpoint, wait a minute, you want X amount of years more, and you play how many games a year? No, no, thank you. Right. So smart decision on the Knicks part, but that was good point, man. It's kind of crazy to think about, but some of these greats that we kind of grew up with the last, decade or so are really starting. Westbrook, that small deal. Paul George, nobody wants to touch. Kawhi Leonard, and who knows what's the deal there with him. Like we've just seen a kind of decline. The only guy that seems to be sticking around is LeBron. Man can still put it up when he needs to. So, but it's going to be interesting. Anything you're looking forward to in the next couple weeks, Kenny, that we should be looking for as NBA fans?
Summer League, it's doing good. Just keep looking out for the trades, the signings. DeMarcus Cousins comes to the Celtics.
Want the Boogie thing? You put it on Twitter. I mean, we've gotten responses from it. People want this. Boogie Cousins, if you're out there and you're listening, come to Boston. Just try it out. It's not so bad. We got some nice spots. You know what I mean? You come down, some great restaurants in Boston, right? Kenny, you could.
I could show them around my town. Legal seafood. I'll take them to Al Capone's.
Al Capone's. Who doesn't want to go to Al Capone's?
For real.
Right? You got the market. You got so many things in Boston.
Right, market, 3 chairs.
You got one of the best NFL franchises in NFL. With the Patriots, you got that. They'll love you, New England.
Right.
It's what we do. Real. It's what we do.
We do.
So boogie to Boston. Let's make it happen.
Yes.
Or we could Boston Boogie. The Boston Boogie, my friend. It even got a nickname already. Already got a nickname.
The Boston Boogie.
Bring back Gino. Gino, baby. The Boston Boogie. Let's do it, bro. That's where we're at. I love it. I love that idea.
I
love it. Kenny, I want to thank you for your basketball insight tonight. I want to thank everybody that will watch and continue to follow and support Sports Unfolded. Follow that
Yep.
ticker so many different ways. We are now on Threads as well. So we added ourselves to Threads. So we're everywhere. Sports Unfolded continues to grow. So check us out. Continue to follow, share us. Kenny, we are going to continue to have some fun this off season, just talking every so often about some of the moves. Got some big stuff coming up soon with NBA preview show that'll be out before the season starts. We'll have our NFL preview show. Kenny's already put the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl, so be ready for that. So much going on in the sports world. I can't wait. We'll throw the other cranky guy in for the NHL preview show as well. We know Ron loves to talk hockey, but Kenny, I will hopefully see you in a week or so. We'll see what's going on in the NBA world. I appreciate your time. It's always a pleasure. And all we ever ask for every single show is peace on earth.
Peace.